Alright, so what we're going to do is give you a quick tutorial on how to use the drawing program, which is called Marvin Sketch, for drawing the different organic structures. Alright, so I'm just going to do an example here from the Chapter 11 homework. So it says to draw the skeletal formula for each of the following. So we're going to draw, first of all, 3-methylheptane. And when you draw these, I would suggest that you actually draw the structure out by hand on a piece of paper, and then you can go ahead and draw it in the program. All right, so there are a couple of ways you can do this. All right, so you want to, again, like I said, draw your 3-methylheptane on a piece of paper, then you're going to transfer it in here. So by default, the single bond is active here on the left side. All right, so that's where all the menu items are on the periphery of your screen. Okay, so there's my single bond. I double check that it is a single bond. So if I just click on the screen now and I move that up, I see I get a bond between one carbon down here and another one. If I click on this and I pull it down, then I get another carbon. So that's 1, 2, 3 carbons in a row. And then I want to go up again, so that's 4 carbons. I pull it down, that's 5 carbon. I click and I pull, that's 6. And I click on that carbon and pull down, and I give a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 carbons. All right, so that's one way you can draw your skeletal chain. I'm just zooming in and zooming out. So that gives me the heptane part of my molecule, 7 carbons in a row, and I could do it like that, 1 carbon at a time. Or I can click on this little zigzag line here, and if you hover over it, it says chain. So if I click on that and then I click on the screen and I hold my cursor down and I pull it, right, while I'm pressing the button down and I pull, you can see that it's giving me multiple atoms in a row, and I can move my cursor back. I wanted 7 atoms, and there you go. It automatically gives you those 7 carbons in a row, right? So these two are the exact same molecules. They are heptane. I'm just going to erase this one here on the top because I don't like the way that it looks. I like the one that's drawn down for me here at the bottom. All right, so that's my heptane, and then I want my 3-methyl part of it. So that means I have a methyl group, which is a 1 carbon group on carbon number 3. So this is carbon 1, that's carbon 2, this is carbon 3. So I need a methyl group hanging off of it. So I'm going to go back to my single bond here, and I want a single bond hanging off of carbon 3. So I just click on it, I pull down. There is my methyl, that's a 1 carbon group here hanging off of carbon number 3. So that's my 3-methylheptane. All right, the other thing that you'll be able to do, or that you'll have to do in some of these structures, is you'll have to draw ring or cyclic structures. Okay, and there's a template for these down here at the bottom. Okay, so this is it says a cyclopropane, this is a cyclobutane, cyclopentane, etc. So if I wanted to do a cyclobutane ring, I just click on it and I click there and it gives me that square. And a square is what cyclobutane is. A couple of other things that you'll be able to do is you can, so notice here you draw your skeletal structure. All right, we can also show all of the hydrogens in there, and we can show the hydrogens. Let me just erase the one here at the bottom. We can show the hydrogens by clicking on this button up here where it says hydrogens, add or remove explicit hydrogens. And I believe, maybe not in this chapter, but the couple subsequent chapters, you're going to have to do this. So if I click on it, okay, it shows me all of the H's attached to each of those carbons in my structure. All right, this one down here is just a leftover one that I didn't erase. So let me erase that one. So that shows you all of the hydrogens in your structure. If I go back up here and I click on this again, it'll remove those H's and it'll just have your skeletal structure. All right, the other thing that you'll be able to use is on the right side here. In some of the structures that you'll be drawing, you'll be showing atoms other than hydrogens and carbons. So if I wanted to change, let's say, this carbon down here, if I wanted to change it to a chlorine, for instance, I can click on the Cl and then just click on it there to change it to a Cl. If I wanted to change this atom here to an oxygen, I can click on the O, hover over that, click on the O, and then it changes it to an O. If I wanted to make a double bond to this carbon here, I can go over here to my bond menu item. I click on it and it brings up all these different types of bonds. If I want to get a double bond, I click on this and you notice it gives me that double bond. And if I want to change this one here to an oxygen now, I can change this carbon that's assumed to be at the end. I want to change it to an O. I just click on it and it replaces it with that oxygen. If you want to find an atom that isn't listed here, you just click on the periodic table. All right, and it brings up all of the atoms on here. So let's say which one is not on there. Let's say I wanted to do a silicon, Si, and if I click on that one, it replaces it with a silicon for me. All right, so you can draw your structures, the line angle structures using the bond tool over here, or you can do your extended, or the multiple atoms in a chain using this one. You have your ring structures that are down here at the bottom. That's your ring structure menu, so you don't have to draw those from scratch. And then your different atoms menu are over here on the right side.